Ji, who was deep in thought, wasn't certain if those were Hee-Jae-kun's first words of the night, but they were certainly the first words she heard him say that night. 4 years ago, Ji was aware Hee-Jae-kun had a good voice, one that definitely didn't pale in comparison to his good looks. Yet, she never felt like his voice sounded as pleasing as it did today, but she knew, for the most part, it was because of what he said. "Get out of here." So finally they'd reached the end of dinner. "I can also make an excuse to leave now." Ji's tense mood gradually started to loosen up, so much so that she snapped out of her daze just like that. Now, she was in the mood to listen to the conversations in the room. When Lin Yo heard Hee-Jae-kun's words, she obediently nodded, "All right." Hee-Jae-kun didn't say anything but raised his arm to call the waiter over for the bill. As he waited, he suggested, "The Golden Lounge." The Golden Lounge was famous for being a classy spot in Beijing. It was even more high class than that evening's Yu Thai restaurant, so everyone's eyes lit up. Lin Yo managed to hide her emotions well as she used her soft and sickly sweet voice, "All right." Now, Hee-Jae-kun went silent again. The waiter quickly brought over the bill. Without even glancing at the total, he immediately signed for it. Lin Yo probably wanted to encourage Hee-Jae-kun to speak more, so after some thought, she found a topic to talk about. "Hee-Jae-one, did you know? Our Ji is a great singer." With Lin Yo's sudden mention of her name, Ji's fingertips shivered and her back started to tense up uncontrollably. The light in her eyes subconsciously landed on where Hee-Jae-kun was sitting. Hee-Jae-kun handed the signed bill back to the waiter, then sat back into his chair nonchalantly. The expression on his face was calm and not the least bit interested, as though the "Ji" from Lin Yo's mouth was simply 2 words put together with no personal meaning to him. But to her, what happened 4 years ago was burned in her memory, something she'd never forget. To him, it was all just a big drunken mistake in a hotel. 4 years had passed, maybe he'd already forgotten all about the past. Forgotten about the girl called Ji who'd given him her first, forgotten the incomparably hurtful things he said to her. Seeing as Hee-Jae-kun didn't seem to have any interest in the topic, Lin Yo turned her head towards Ji and casually added to what she said, "Ji, didn't you learn a new song a few days ago? Later, when we're at the Golden Lounge, you have to sing for us." Lin Yo's request wasn't very demanding, so Ji wouldn't usually decline, but there was Hee-Jae-kun with them tonight. Ji's eyes turned to Lin Yo. Since Hee-Jae-kun was there, her voice was a little weak as she said, "I'm not feeling too well. Count me out. I want to go back to school and get some rest." "Ji, where do you not feel well? Besides, it's so late right now. It's not safe to go back on your own. Why don't you come out with us?" Before Lin Yo could persuade her to stay, Hee-Jae-kun, who was sitting next to her, got up. He completely ignored Ji and Lin Yo's conversation and left with the words, "Let's go." He strode out of the private dining room. Lin Yo watched Hee-Jae-kun's back as he disappeared out the door. She looked over at Ji without finishing her sentence. She picked up her bag and hurriedly followed him out. Everyone in the room was curious to see how elegant the Golden Lounge was, so they left Ji with a few simple, polite words. Seeing as she really had no intention of going, they left without a fuss.